Sorry, not the best view for the start of a video, but nonetheless, wanted to show a quick video on self-steering. This is a Landing School 30, I'll call it a sport boat. It has a very deep, narrow fin keel with a bulb on the end. And I'm a believer that whether using an autopilot or steering by hand, it's always nice to be able to have a way to self-steer a boat or have a boat steer itself. Um, Regardless of what kind of boat it is. And I know some boats are easier to balance and get to steer than others. But I wanted to try it on this boat and see whether it can be done. It has a very big mainsail and a very small jib, not that easy to balance. But you can see me here. I had some surgical tubing set up, which I don't really like on both sides like that because it's equal stretch both ways and really doesn't do anything if you have it set up like that. So I have a tiller pilot as well there steering as I'm setting up some rather thick bungee on the windward side. And so that's the first thing that I'll show here is just if I have a bungee steering, and I am heading at about a 45-degree angle to the true wind. And so you can see here it's about 18 to 20 knots, a bit bumpy, and it is steering itself. You can't really see that well, but the telltales on the jib show that it's steering pretty well. But you can see here as it gets bumpy, it goes a bit slack and maybe overreacting a bit. So what I want to do is to try some little lighter surgical tubing on the other side just to keep the bungee in check. The bungee, the more it stretches, the more force there is. The surgical tubing is fairly even stretch. And so I do like the bungee as there's more pull on it. It can pull harder and balance the boat a little better. But you see here with the surgical tubing, very well behaved, not oversteering, but still keeping a really good course. If you watch the mast and the clouds, it's keeping fairly tight. And I trust it so much, I'll go sit on the rail, try to keep the boat down a little bit. And as I said, it's pretty bumpy, but this seems to be working pretty well. So something to try and play around with, see if you can dial it in. Any tips for me? I would love to hear them. Please leave them in the comments. Thanks.